All right, so a lot has changed in a year. As you can see, I have cut my hair off. Had some hair issues. Long story short, in this year, since I've last posted when I thought I had a chemical or ectopic, didn't know what was going on. Yes, it was a chemical, unfortunately. But in that time, I had just signed up for hair school. Like I just started. So I had just focused on school. Now I am graduated. And I am now a licensed cosmetologist. I've already did my exam, etc., etc. But anyway, I know that's why you're not here. So let me give you an update on what happened between last year and now. So we kept trying for a little while I was in school, but it wasn't successful. We ended up getting pregnant twice after that. And the first time, I didn't even get a positive until 17 DPO, and it ended up fading away shortly after. The second time I got a positive and it stayed stagnant. So I end up, in the last video I said I didn't have insurance. So I end up going to an ultrasound clinic here. They charge $65 to give you an ultrasound. And I went there and I found out I had a cyst on my ovaries, and they said it was from when I was pregnant. Basically, it's where your follicle swells up, release the egg, and it's supposed to shrink back down, but sometimes while it's shrinking, it will grasp fluid, and that fluid will stay in there, and that's what creates the cyst, and over time, it starts swelling, creating more fluid. So that ended up happening to us, and unfortunately, that one was a chemical as well, but the cyst had nothing to do with that. But with that cyst, it ended up leaving me having an HCG stagnant at like 6. So first response, that picks up HCG at 6. So I kept getting a faint line consistently on that test, and I just was thinking it might be possible that it's hidden. They didn't see anything on the ultrasound, but they said because of the HCG, they assumed that I was pregnant. So even now, I still really don't know, but I still was hopeful. So after that, eventually, a month later, I had a lot of pain and cramping, and the cyst burst. Now, this was back in December of 2020. So moving on to 2021, which is now, we decided that we're just not going to try anymore. Let me focus on school and graduate. And I graduated in June and got my license at the end of August. I've had to do my written exam in July, and I just did my practical in August, and now I'm licensed. So now we honestly wasn't even trying again, to be honest. Like, we just, was doing us because we ain't been successful. So I'm not going to lie. It's not like we stopped trying, but we also wasn't focused on it. If you know what I mean, no pull-out game. But anyway, so this month, well, I'll just say this week and last week, I just started feeling really crazy. Didn't know what was going on with me. Like, I had been snapping on the highway, just been criticizing my boyfriend, been not wanting to be bothered. Like, I just couldn't get focused. I was in the bed 2 days, then I ended up catching food poisoning last week, but it drained the hell out of me. And I knew that was going to happen with food poisoning, so I didn't have a clue last week. But then this week, when my anger just been getting heightened, I figured it was because, I just got my license and I'm still trying to focus on how I want to go in the field. So I just figured, it's just because my mind's not clear, I'm stressed out, whatever. And then, of course, I still have 2 children. I still have a whole household to keep up, things like that. So I was thinking it was just stress. But then I noticed that my boobs were hurting. And I thought that it was just, maybe I'm ovulating. I haven't been tracking it. My app has, but I haven't been paying attention to it. So I looked on the app, and the app said I wasn't ovulating. So I was just like, maybe my body's changing or whatever. But then something just told me to test, as you seen in the video I posted yesterday. Some told me to test the day before yesterday, and it had a faint line. But at first it didn't show up. But after it dried, it showed up. But Pregmate will give you an indent, especially if your urine is concentrated. But I was just like, I'll test again that night, and then it came out positive on 8 DPO night, and then 9 and 10. So this is our first time actually seeing a good progression. Usually once we see a good line, the next day is gone. And so far it's progressing. I'll add that video now. All right, it is September 3rd, 2021. These 2 here at the bottom are today. 10 DPO. Took the first one at 3 a.m. The second one just now. As you can see, it's still wet, which is 1 p.m. And this is my slow progression so far from 8 DPO to 10 DPO. Let's pray it stick. It looks like it's a progression. To me, this is my best one I've got yet. I'm just gonna stay hopeful. After today, I'm not gonna test so often. I think I'm gonna just do one in the morning and one before bed, just so I won't stress myself out, because the color kind of looks the same right up in here. So keep you guys posted. I'm just still, not gonna get my hopes too far up. I'm gonna, just take everything easy and not over, let me see, how can I say it? I don't want to overthink it and stress myself out this time around, but I just been making sure I drink plenty of water. I'm gonna go get me some prenatals, and then I'm gonna go to the doctor and get tested next week. I just want to make sure that I have a little progression before I waste my time and their time, because I have been through this roller coaster 1,000 times. But I will give advice to people who are trying. What I will say, if it stresses you out, now if you have the patience to do that testing and trying to keep up with a line progression, good. But don't overstress yourself and try not to test too early. The only reason I tested again is because how I've been feeling, but I wouldn't have tested this early. I would have waited until my cycle was due. And because I only have a 27-day cycle, so I have 11-day luteal phase, so I ovulate on day 11 after my cycle is over. And that's why I was able to test and get a positive so fast. So don't think if you're 8 DPO, 9 DPO, 10 DPO that you'll get a positive just as soon as I did, because again, your ovulation could be different. Your ovulation month to month could be different, especially if you're not tracking it. But my ovulation has been the same consistency for the last few months. So I believe it was the same this past month, according to my app, because I was able to get a positive at 8 DPO. But anyway, with that being said, I was going to say, don't try to stress yourself out spending money. When I say money, I spent money this year on, because I had went through a spell where I only wanted first response because I was so scared of the strip test giving me those indents. I was like, first response is the only one I can count on. But then I ended up getting that same thing with first response, and literally I spent like $500 in one cycle, where I was buying so many first response. And I was getting that line because, again, because of that cyst, it ended up carrying some HCG, which was giving that first response a positive, because first response pick up at 6 HCG. And the human body can hold 5, a level of 5, and you're not pregnant. So my body probably already holds 5, and that cyst gave it that little 1%, and my first response kept getting a faint line every day, until I finally went to the doctor. And when I went to the doctor, they was like, straight up, you're not pregnant. And they went ahead and did a blood test immediately. Like, I don't know if it's because of my age or because they hear this all the time. I don't know, but they did a blood test immediately. As soon as I went to go see the lady for the update, she was like, you're not pregnant. I was just like, oh, okay. And my mood changed, I ain't gonna lie. And she was like, what, are you trying to get pregnant? Like, she had a stank attitude. Like, these folks be really mad that you come to the doctor about being pregnant. I don't understand. I really don't. And I feel like since quarantine, a lot of these doctors then got so accustomed to just doing stuff over the phone and online, to where they don't want to have to deal with patients anymore unless it's like emergency. And I feel like as long as you're getting paid, hell, you should be happy. But that's here nor there. But anyway, just don't spend too much time trying to test. I will wait till a mid-cycle. I see why the doctors say that. I'm gonna be honest with you. You could do what you want to do. You're grown, especially if you get the cheap Amazon test. But as far as your stress level, I will go to the doctor and get it confirmed, or test once every 2 days, just to see if there's going to be a good progression, all that stuff. Now, again, I could talk all this talk and I'm still testing every day, but I'm going to drop, like I said in my video, I'm going to drop from testing like that so often, just so I won't stress myself out too much. But I'm going to be honest with you, I'm kind of at the point to where now I can accept whatever's meant for me. But I'll keep you guys posted. Again, 10 DPO. And I can give some backstory too. I'm going to do a video that kind of give a little backstory on why I think I couldn't conceive this whole year. And if this baby is viable, I'll do a video on what I did different. So keep you updated.